Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We do have live tournament action coming at you right now. This is the finals in tonight's Novice Arena tournament from ALT-Stracraft. We're having a good old-fashioned time here. ACIDdemp and CocoaKrispie. CocoaKrispie I've never seen play before. ACIDdemp I've seen several times. Not just tonight, but also in the past. He's played good old couple times here with us. Phenomenal player there in ACIDdemp. Now CocoaKrispie has come a long way. He's taken out quite a few players to make it here. And so yeah, he's definitely good. We shall see if he is prepared, though, to take on the ACIDdemp, or vice versa. Maybe ACIDdemp's the one who needs to be worried that he is prepared for CocoaKrispie. I mean, that's a pretty scary name there, CocoaKrispie. But it is going to be ACIDdemp. He is blue. He is Protoss spawning at the 6 o'clock position. CocoaKrispie, he is pink. He is Zerg. He is also spawning at the 3 o'clock position. And he is going to be sending out double scouts here. He's got his Overlord cruising out across the map here. Not going to quite catch wind of that probe. However, he will be at his opponent's main here momentarily. Notice that he is scouting the other direction here with his drone. He wants to get good intel on where his opponent is. Maybe that is because he is going to go for some kind of rush push, maybe? Who knows? I don't know. But he's gearing up for what appears to be a... Wow, he's going to go gas, so he's probably going to go spawning pool next here. So pool first from CocoaKrispie appears to be the order of the day. ACIDdemp going to be going for a standard wall off. Got his gateway going down now. Notice that we've been seeing him all day, but playing PvPs, practicing his wall off. So we should see a good, solid, tight wall off here from ACIDdemp to keep himself Zergling free as he moves forward. But here comes that Overlord. Overlord is going to be getting in here, gathering up that intel. Does see the pylon gone down, does see the gateway for the wall off. We'll see if CocoaKrispie going to be doing anything crazy here, like maybe a Baneling bust, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Spawning pool, though, is going to be 50% complete. He is mining a heck of a lot of gas here right off the bat. Units tab going to show 15 to 15. Harvester count is exactly equal. Got to love it. Got to love it. And it appears that ACIDdemp does have a probe kicking it over here at this kind of hidden position. We'll see if he is going to do anything crazy. Oh, wow. Tight wall off? No, it's not tight. Never mind. Wait a second. Oh, wow. He didn't quite get this the way that he wanted, but I think he should be able to block this position here with a Zealot. So he's okay. He looks to be okay, but he's got to be careful with his wall off. That's so funny. We mentioned that he's been practicing his wall off, and then here when it matters in his PvZ, it gets bungled just a little bit. Now, notice that CocoaKrispie going to go ahead and steal an extractor here. That's going to be super annoying. I can guarantee you that. I know because I play Protoss and I get annoyed by it all the time. CocoaKrispie, in the meantime, going to be sending out a couple lings, and by a couple, I mean 4. Going to leave 2 back here for defense for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. But if you're going to send them, you might as well send all of them. But here comes 4 nonetheless. ACIDdemp does already have his Zealot here on hold position. I don't believe they can make it in here. I'm not entirely sure, but it appears that they cannot make it through that side right there. So he should be okay. But CocoaKrispie just going to be kicking it down here on the low ground, waiting as long as he can for ACIDdemp to go ahead and get his Stalker out. And here comes the Stalker. Stalker is going to thwart these attacks in fairly decent time. None of these guys died there, so that's actually kind of lucky. Either that or it was phenomenal control from CocoaKrispie. Maybe a combination of both. What do you say? But ACIDdemp now going to be working on 2 gateways right next to the extractor, just so his opponent will see. Wants to make sure that that scouting intel goes good for CocoaKrispie. So nice manners here from ACIDdemp so far. I know, I'm just being facetious. He didn't do that on purpose, but I'm sure he doesn't really care at this point that his opponent sees that, because his opponent can probably guess a 4-gate since he's forcing him into it by taking this extractor. So ACIDdemp's like, you're forcing me. I'm showing you. Forcing my hand, young man. In the meantime, CocoaKrispie did go ahead and toss down his hatchery. Units tab going to show he is at 19 drones rather, to his opponent's 21. Now Acid should be going for a bit of a 4-gate push here momentarily. Does have 4 gates up and running. This guy going to get attacked. Not going to be able to put down a forward pylon unless he does it quickly. Back to the mineral line. Looks like this guy needs to go put down a pylon, maybe down here or something now at this point, because this is no longer a good spot to put it. Looks like ACIDdemp, though, is going to cruise out across the field. He's got 5 Zealots, 1 Stalker in tow, and a probe here. What is this guy doing? Oh, there's a Zergling. And off we go. ACIDdemp now going to be cruising out across the map. What is this guy going to do? Oh, he's going to take a Nexus. So taking an expand here for ACIDdemp. Going to start to put some pylons down here on the low ground. But he is going to be pushing out with this small force here. 5 Zealots, 1 Stalker. These guys could do a little bit of damage considering, well, I don't know. This looks like pretty solid defense here. CocoaKrispie with triple spines. Got a queen in there as well. Should be okay as he moves forward here. I don't know. ACIDdemp is going to back out here. I think probably the best solution for him. Too many spines to deal with, as well as this mount. Wow, so many roaches on the field here. Not going to get tons done, but he did get his expansion down here in very, very good time. It's going to be completing here momentarily, and that is going to be super effective. Now he does need to go. Oh, he's already got it. Look at that. Did pick a tech pattern. It is the robotics facility. Going to be grabbing his second gas here in the main. He did finally get that thing taken care of up there. Good, good, good. ACIDdemp now putting a lot of forces into play. He's got a lot of zealots here. I'd like to see him go ahead and grab maybe a Twilight Council and get out some charge. Maybe even go for some Archons here. ChargeCon I think would be a nice play on 2 base. But he is going to have to gear up for defense. And look what CocoaKrispie is going to be throwing at him right now. That is a heck of a lot of roaches. Good amount of roaches here. Also a bunch of lings. But the nice thing here for ACIDdemp is he does have a bunch of zealots. They should be able to take care of those lings there fairly quickly. And with good force fields, he should be able to take care of the roaches as well. I don't know, maybe. That's a lot of roaches. Oh, keep these guys under control. ACIDdemp making a critical error here. These guys way out of position, and they are going to get obliterated. CocoaKrispie about to cruise in here. Does get thwarted there momentarily, but look at all of these zealots going down. CocoaKrispie saying, you guys want to die? I will happily oblige. And he says, let's go for more. And ACIDdemp's like, wait a second, I didn't want to sacrifice those guys. But he does get some pretty decent force fields there. I like those quite a bit. Too many links, though, in the face of these sentries, so no more force fields will be on the way. Decent amount of stalkers here. Not quite enough to deal with this many roaches, though. And CocoaKrispie going to be pushing forward. Notice the supply count difference is growing rapidly. ACIDdemp going to be losing a heck of a lot of units. He should have pulled probes, I think, to deal with this was his best bet. And at this point, pulling probes is not going to help. Roaches love to kill probes at melee range, so... yeah, this is going extremely well here for CocoaKrispie. ACIDdemp in a lot of trouble. Notice he's gearing up for defense on the high ground here. He's going to go ahead and transfer these probes out of there. Getting them out. A lot of reinforcing lings here for CocoaKrispie. Going to be super effective. ACIDdemp with way too many minerals. He's got to be warping in. He's got to go ahead and get out units like Immortals and Warp Prisms and such as that to be able to hold off these type of things. Here comes your main attack. We're going to have to see if force field is poorly placed. Wanted to keep those lings out of the base. However, the zealot should be able to clean him up, but he loses the stalker. Well, maybe he actually didn't lose the stalker, but he did lose his sentry. More stalkers being warped in, but I just don't know if this is quite enough, especially now with lings going to be getting into the base as well as more roaches now in the main. Here comes more units. Notice that CocoaKrispie been streaming these guys out across the map here, and that is so many lings to deal with, and ACIDdemp does have to give the GG. Nicely played there from CocoaKrispie. We'll be headed into game number 2 here momentarily in this best of 3, so don't alt-tab, always alt-StarCraft. We'll see you guys then. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We do have live tournament action coming at you right now. It is going to be on GSL's Antigua Shipyard. I like this map quite a bit. Now, GSL's version does force cross-spawn positions. I let these guys know beforehand that they don't have to scout in the side positions. They can just scout straight across the map. ACIDdemp going to be our blue player. He is Protoss spawning down here at the 8 o'clock position. CocoaKrispie is Pink Zerg. He is spawning up here at the 2 o'clock, so good cross positions there. And it looks like CocoaKrispie already going to be sending out his Overlord Scout. This guy cruising out across the map as quickly as he possibly can to gather some information for us next year. For the new year, if you will. Good stuff. But ACIDdemp probably going to be working on a standard wall off here. Indeed, he is. Not going to be going for a Forge Fast Expand. Now, this map actually is fairly decent for Forge Fast Expanding, just so everybody knows. If you do play Protoss and like the idea of Forge Fast Expanding, it's fairly easy to do. You just wall this off right here, and you only need one photon cannon really to guard it if you're going to get risky, but I always recommend 2. Sometimes 3, just depends on what your scouting tells you. If you do see early roaches, you want to get 3 of them. So keep good scouting in if you do go Forge Fast Expand, and always watch the backside of your map for Nidus Worms when you Forge Fast Expand. That is the favorite play out on the market today for Zerg players taking on Forge Fast Expanding TOS. Now, spawning pool did go down here for CocoaKrispie in fairly decent time. Notice it is fairly stinking early, actually. And they're going to be getting that out quick. We'll see if Demp going to be prepared for that. Looks like it may have even been a 9 pool. What was it? 9 pool? I'm going to grab his gas now. Got 4 lings out on the field here momentarily. ACIDdemp going to have his assimilator geared up and ready to go in just a bit. And Demp going to be, wow, not walling off. Oh, double gates here. Yikes, so he is going for a completely different play. He's going to be picking out a lot of zealots here. 3 gates, it looks like. Chrono boosting out his zealots is going to have to be prepared because guess what? Here come your lings. Lings incoming. And looks like CocoaKrispie continuing to produce lings as well as grabbing a queen for some inject larvae, but almost all of his larvae here is being used for those lings, and so many of them cruising out across the map right now. Looks like ACIDdemp is going to be in fairly decent shape. He's got to be producing more. I don't know what he's doing. If he's going to have 3 gates out this early, he's got to be working on more zealots. Making an error here. Making an error. Gotta be so careful. Gotta be so careful. And Ling's now going to be in the base. Not too many to deal with quite yet, but he's behind. He's behind. What can I say? He's going to be chrono boosting out double zealots. Double Zealots should be able to clean these guys up. These guys, if they were smart, would be working on this pylon instead of both working on one gateway. Either that or focusing down one gateway, so a little bit of an error there. Looks like CocoaKrispie is going to switch targets there. The pylon, a smart move. But Zealot's now out on the field. Looks like he is going to be blocking this ramp here. One Zergling making it into the mineral line, however. Going to be pesky. These guys can get back to work now, I can tell you that right now. Back to work! ACIDdemp going to be chrono boosting out his warp gate tech. In the meantime, CocoaKrispie sending out more lings as well as taking an expand. Of all things to do with ling pressure is take an expand. Not often you see that, but he is indeed going to do so, so maybe he's not really hoping that this pressure will go super well. Looks like he's just trying to keep tabs on his opponent there, and ACIDdemp going to be in fairly decent position to deal with this. Nice wall! Oh, wow, great control from ACIDdemp. That is beautiful control of those zealots. Going to be thwarting that little run by there with absolutely no trouble. This is going to be supply blocked here for just a moment. Just got to go ahead and fix that ASAP. Get back ASAP. I love that song. Alright, and another pylon going down here for ACIDdemp. That is going to be super helpful in keeping him from staying supply blocked, which he has been here for quite a while. CocoaKrispie, in the meantime, is about to have his hatchery pop. Units tab going to show 16 to 16 on that harvester count. Now, CocoaKrispie did grab his Baneling nest. Could see a Baneling push here fairly quickly. But all in all, not a bad little deal thus far. Yes, Vinny, it is best of 3, and ACIDdemp currently down 1 game, so CocoaKrispie in phenomenal shape. And looks like he's got plenty of units here. I like that he's going for Heavy Zealot. Heavy Zealot is going to be a great counter to a bunch of Banelings. However, he's floating a lot of gas to be so heavy on the Zealot side. Picking out some sentries here is not a bad idea. You can toss these guys. What are you doing? Don't kill that Zealot. There you go. He was testing. He thought it might have been a changeling, but indeed it was not. Indeed it was not. Looks like he is going to be getting some serious Banelings out. And he's going to be getting out more lings. Units tab shows that he is still ahead economically there. ACIDdemp really got to be careful, man. He's got to keep pumping out those probes, and he looks like he stalled for a little while there. I would like to see him be utilizing his chrono boosts here. It would also be super effective. He can even chrono boost his economy at this point because he's lost so much mining time to only be on the 18 probes. You really got, I mean, if you're not going to go for like a serious Korean 4-gate attack, you've got to continue droning. You got to, especially against Zerg. So just one of those things. But CocoaKrispie now gearing up for his attack. He does have a couple lings here. Finally, the banelings are making it across the field here. ACIDdemp really needs to consider getting out some more units, or splitting these guys up a little bit, or doing some scouting, or both, or all of the above, whatever. But here comes your attack. Baneling is going to be trying to cruise up here momentarily. Good army split there. The Baneling's going down on mostly nothing. Wow. ACIDdemp holding on there in a very big way. Going to be warping in a couple extra units here, but here comes your reinforcing lings. Looks like CocoaKrispie gonna back out, not feeling it, not feeling that attack. Looks like ACIDdemp now going to be in decent shape for an expansion. Notice that CocoaKrispie, though, gearing up for a lot of droning here. He's got 4 drones in production, 28 already out on the field now, 27 he just built something. But so far so good. And wow, wow, what is he doing? Is he seriously getting double layers? Yes, he is. So it looks like he's probably going to go pneumatized carapace, ventral sacs for super quick drops. We'll see how that's going to fare. That's usually the only reason you get double layers. Oh, he canceled this one. Okay. Okay, so it's just back to 1 layer. Alright, never mind. So I take back what I said, but whatever. He still could go for it. But a good-looking army here for ACIDdemp. He still seems to be in phenomenal shape. Still no expansion from him. He continues to warp in units. He is getting a lot of sentries here. Sentry's going to be nice. We've seen his force field placements, and I actually have to be fairly impressed with his force field placement thus far. He's done a pretty dang good job. Looks like he is going to go ahead and toss down his Nexus. So at 11 minutes, though, is a little bit late. Got to be careful, but he did survive a couple attacks there. And that makes it a little bit okay, I guess, to go for some later timings. But here come a couple links here for CocoaKrispie. These guys are going to try and gather a little bit of intel. They do see the army composition there, as well as the size of that force. No new tech here for ACIDdemp, and for CocoaKrispie, the only thing we've got is just the banelings. Now, where is his lair? What is he getting out of his lair? Nothing. Okay, so Spinecrawler's on the way. And we do have lair tech. Oh, there he goes. That's what he's getting. He's getting a Spire. Never mind. Good stuff. So Spire incoming. CocoaKrispie going to be trying to take on phenomenal AA here with some mutas, I assume. But if he can't catch his opponent off guard, or if ACIDdemp just doesn't feel comfortable splitting his army, then CocoaKrispie could be in phenomenal shape. Now this would be a good time for ACIDdemp to potentially push out. See what he's got, though. He is going to be transitioning into robotics play, grabbing a forge here as well. So, yeah, not a bad deal. But the unit composition, or let's see, the units tab shows that 46 drones here for CocoaKrispie, going to be super effective right now. He is in phenomenal shape. Still droning up, it appears, as well. Got another drone in production. Grabbing Zerg Flyer attack level 1 here right away. No mutas out on the field quite yet, but they will be here shortly, I have to assume at this point. And look at this static defense. My goodness, he's got a lot of static defense. Now, ACIDdemp probably going to have to go for some serious robotics build to deal with that fairly quickly, unless he's just going to attack right now, which would be a great time, especially considering that they're... Oh, there they are. There's no mutas out on the field now, but by the time he makes it over there, they would be there at this point. So good job there from CocoaKrispie. Going to be in fairly decent shape. Looks like ACIDdemp going to be working on his shields here. Getting his shield upgrade first. Kind of interesting. But that, I mean, it'll make the units beefier, I promise. But generally speaking, what you like to do against Zerg is get out your attack upgrade first, because your units tend to be beefy enough as is. But regardless, we are going to have to endure a lot of mutalist harass here. We've got a bunch of mutas cruising out across the field. Looks like these guys are indeed headed for the mineral line of ACIDdemp. Notice that ACIDdemp is taking precautions here. He hasn't really scouted it, but he's going to be tossing down a bunch of photon cannons anyway. Same thing down here at this main, but however, they are too late. These guys not going to happen, and look at that, going to be taking out a lot of probes here. CocoaKrispie doing a heck of a lot of damage. Here comes ACIDdemp trying to cruise up in here to deal with these guys, and CocoaKrispie cruising right over the top of him. Not a smart move. So many mutas going down right now. Now he has done a lot of economic damage to ACIDdemp, but my goodness, you cannot afford to lose all of your mutas, and they all indeed do go down, and ACIDdemp is like, go time! He is going to be cruising out across the field. I think this is perfect timing for him to go ahead and do some serious attacks. He is going to be in phenomenal shape. It's going to force CocoaKrispie to have to defend here with those mutas, I believe. Now, there is a lot of spines here, but you know what? They are armored units, and guess what? Stalkers are great because they do additional damage to armored units. 14 damage indeed. Not a bad little deal, and with this many stalkers out on the field, it looks like these spine crawlers may not quite be the ticket. ACIDdemp going to wait for the rest of his forces. Probably going to see him use some Guardian Shield here as well as some Force Fields potentially to keep Banelings out of his face. Not a bad idea. Here comes your attack. Muta's not going to last long against this force. Absolutely. Banelings coming at you. Decent Force Fields going down, but they did walk through those Force Fields, and now ACIDdemp losing that entire army there. Yikes. You've really got to put those force fields down in a line. They can walk right through the spine crawlers. It's like they don't. Yeah, bad force fields. Yes, it was, but that's okay. Still, he's in fairly decent shape. He is still on 2 base versus Zerg opponent here, and that's not a bad deal. There, he's going to go ahead and transfer some units back to his main. That's a smart little thing to do. Looks like CocoaKrispie going to secure a 3rd base here. Smart move. And ACIDdemp needs to get out Immortals, or who's shooting? There we go. Down goes that guy. Changeling making it in there, but not going to last very long. Got to have serious robotics build, I think, usually to take down these spine crawlers quickly in the time that you need. But that's still a lot of spines here. He's got to be careful of these Hydralisks now out on the field. Going to be fairly effective against gateway units. If he gets enough Lings, these Hydras will be in really, really good shape. Bunch of Banelings here for CocoaKrispie as well. He's really trying to make this happen here. He doesn't want to play Game 3, it doesn't look like. Really trying to make it happen. He is going to be gearing up for a fairly large attack. Units tab going to show 33 probes right now for ACIDdemp is severely putting him behind. It is nearly double that for CocoaKrispie. He's at 59. Wow. Good stuff. Notice that ACIDdemp does indeed have an observer scouting this army. He is going to notice when his opponent cruises out. So that's going to be fairly effective there. But he is going to be working on a heck of a lot more Zealots. Zealots going to be super effective against this Hydralisk Zergling army. They are super effective against both of those units, actually. He does need to consider grabbing some more upgrades. He is grabbing weapons level 1, but I would like to see with this many Zealots, I think it's worth it to just pay for your charge. And charge is really, really effective against Zerg, especially against Hydralisks. You want to be able to get up in their face as quickly as possible. That really, really helps deal with those Hydras. But look at all these Banelings here from CocoaKrispie. It's going to come down to good force fields here for ACIDdemp. ACIDdemp going to be cruising out across the field. I don't actually like this play. Oh, man, I don't know. I mean, he's scouting this, so I guess he feels like he can take it, which means he's got to feel confident in his ability to put down good force fields, and that is exactly what he's going to need. Is going to cruise over here and deal with these destructible debris. Actually, I'm taking it back. Now I'm starting to like what he's doing here. ACIDdemp is going to try and get himself a high ground advantage here and block these guys down on the low ground and take out this expand. This is actually a fairly nice move. And down go these destructible debris momentarily. And up, up, up the ramp he goes. And look at this. Spine Crawler's going to be caught out of position. Nice. And force fielding the ramp. A bunch of units caught down there on the low ground. He's got to continue force fielding that ramp, however. Looks like we're going to go for a flank here. CocoaKrispie with a humongous army. Good force fields going down here. Zealot's going to be doing a lot of damage right now. And here comes some reinforcing Zealots as well. Baneling streaming in here, but blasting up against Zealots with +1/+1. Not super effective. CocoaKrispie taking some severe losses, but he is still macroing up this army so very quickly, and that is going to be crazy amounts of effective right now. There's only 2 Zerglings behind you. You can just go ahead and take them out before they kill off all of your units there. But good play there from Demp. He did toss that base out of existence there, clearly out into the void. But here comes your main attack from CocoaKrispie. It is going to come down to force fields here. Is there going to be enough available? Does not appear so. Oh, he's going to need to be very careful. Very careful. One force field going down. Here come the rest of your units. They are slower, however, but they are going to make it here in decent time. And here comes that main attack. Good force fielding going down. It looks like he should be able to hold on here for just a little bit, but the Hydra's now getting into a nice concave. Going to be obliterating these Zealots, and that is going to be game, I think, here. CocoaKrispie looking to take it 2 games in a row. Still got a whole bunch of units out on the field. ACIDdemp trying desperately to make this happen. Doesn't look like it is going to be the case. All is going down, and there's your GG from ACIDdemp. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. That is it. CocoaKrispie is our champion for the evening. So give that guy a big fat high five. He deserves it, and he is also going to be taking home his well-deserved cash prize. So thanks again, everybody. Don't alt-tab. Always alt-StarCraft. We'll see you guys in just a bit.